Even at some of Cincinnati's busiest bus stops, you can't find a bench or to sit on or shelter from bad weather.
A Metro bus stop, in fact, was recently the runner-up, you may recall, for the sorriest bus stop in North America. 9 on your side, Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham looks at Metro's systemic neglect of bus stops.
We're going to cross the street.
Nearly every day, 77-year-old Barbara Wolf walks several blocks
And then walk a little bit more
to her East Walnut Hills bus stop.
Here we go.
When she arrives, there's not even a bench where she can sit.
I think it's very hard on people, especially mothers with children, people with packages, seniors, people who have physical injuries. You know, it's difficult.
Route 31.
But it's easy to find bus stops without shelters or benches, even at many of the city's most popular locations.
It's like, here, poor people, take what you got, and this is all we're going to give you, and just be grateful for it.
Cam Hardy, the president of the nonprofit Better Bus Coalition, is a frequent critic of Metro. Hardy says at the very least, Metro should have a place for people to sit while they wait for a bus.
Something.
The I-Team drove a 3-mile stretch of Metro's busy Route 33, which runs from downtown to Westwood.
There's one.
We discovered 42 stops marked with Metro signs. Only 5 had benches. None of them had shelters.
It's bigger than a bus stop.
Dr. Karen Bankston, the former executive director of the Cincinnati Child Poverty Collaborative, says neglected bus stops, and in some cases dangerous ones, have convinced the community that this is all that riders deserve.
What is the message that's received from that?
You don't care.
And that, she says, makes the journey out of poverty even harder for the bus riders who have no choice but to stand and wait until the next bus arrives.
The message needs to get out that this is bigger. This is a big issue.
We hear them, we understand them, we get it, we certainly do get it. And we are working to address some of those needs.
Metro spokeswoman Brandy Jones says the agency is committed to improving its 5,000 bus stops and overall service, but it's also struggling with chronic, severe underfunding. Bus stop benches started disappearing in 2006 after Cincinnati's City Council canceled an advertising contract for the benches.
Metro, over the next 10 years, is looking at $184 million in deficits.
A 2013 study by the University of Cincinnati found Metro's budget has a much smaller percentage of government funding than mass transit in Columbus, Indianapolis, and Louisville. During the last 40 years, Hamilton County voters have rejected 4 tax proposals that would provide more revenue for mass transit.
We recognized this as an issue about a year ago and have started a variety of projects to try to address it.
Craig Cassee is the board chair of SORTA, the Southwest Regional Transit Authority. SORTA manages Metro. Cassee told the I-Team Metro had a contract to improve bus stops, but it fell through. And now the agency is starting all over again.
I know it sounds simple, right? But what the benches and shelters have to meet code requirements for anything we're doing, right? So there's certain demands about what you're allowed to do. Then obviously funding's an issue for us.
We want to be a part of the solution.
This is one solution. In a friend's basement, the Better Bus Coalition's Cam Hardy and Mark Saman have started building benches for bus stops. They told me the goal is simple.
Our mission is just to simply give bus riders a place to sit.
It's really just about, how does our city respect the people who are using our streets and not in their own private vehicle?
Hardy and Saman say it hasn't been difficult for them to make sure the benches are placed in areas that allow people in wheelchairs to get past them, even though Metro insists the process is more complicated than that for the public agency.
Well, it is complicated if you want it to be complicated.
Yeah.
Said it would be a lot easier if the people who are making the decisions had to live it.
Well, I think we'd all like to be going faster, and we're doing everything we can to try to move faster.
A report released today by the New York-based Transit Center says better bus stops are a low-cost, high-impact way to improve the riding experience and possibly increase ridership. The report says that making these improvements should be a top priority. Craig Cheatham, 9 on your side.
Metro has launched a review of bus stop infrastructure. Results from that audit should become available in December.